mist-covered expanse of the Pacific Northwest, where the towering evergreens guard their secrets, one of the most enduring mysteries of the 20th century took flight on the eve of Thanksgiving, 1971. D.B. Cooper, a man who would vanish into legend, boarded a Boeing 727 and executed one of the most audacious heists in aviation history. Now, decades later, seasoned investigator Alex steps into the cold case, determined to unravel the truth behind the myth and bring closure to an enigma that has haunted America for years. The scent of pine hung heavy in the air as the shadows lengthened over the Pacific Northwest, a region where the wilderness meets the sky in an untamed embrace. The year was 1971, the eve of Thanksgiving, and Portland International Airport buzzed with the frantic energy of holiday travelers. Amidst the crowd, a man in a dark suit, white shirt, and black tie calmly approached the Northwest Orient Airlines counter. He purchased a one-way ticket to Seattle, paid in cash, and signed the name Dan Cooper. Cooper's unassuming demeanor made him just another passenger among many as he boarded the Boeing 727 and took a seat in the rear of the cabin. Yet, beneath the calm exterior, a meticulously planned operation was about to unfold. As the plane ascended into the overcast skies, Cooper handed flight attendant Florence Schaffner a note. Assuming it was a flirtatious advance, Schaffner pocketed it without a glance. Cooper leaned closer, his voice low and steady. "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." Schaffner's pulse quickened as she unfolded the paper, revealing a chilling message. "I have a bomb in my briefcase. I will use it if necessary. I want you to sit beside me." Along with the threat came a list of demands. $200,000 in negotiable American currency, for parachutes, and a fuel truck ready in Seattle. The flight attendant relayed the demands to the cockpit, setting off a chain reaction that would involve the FBI, the airline, and the entire nation. While the plane circled Puget Sound, buying time for authorities to gather the ransom and parachutes, Cooper remained eerily composed. He ordered a bourbon and soda, his eyes scanning the landscape below as he casually remarked on landmarks. His demeanor was not that of a desperate man but of someone in complete control, methodical, courteous, and unerringly confident. Upon landing in Seattle, Cooper's demands were met with precise efficiency. Al Lee, the operations manager, delivered the ransom money and parachutes to the aircraft. Cooper allowed the passengers to disembark, keeping only the flight crew and flight attendant Tina Mucklow on board. As the plane refueled, Cooper outlined his next set of instructions. A southeast course toward Mexico City at a low altitude, landing gear deployed, and the cabin depressurized. The plane took off again, this time under a heavy cloak of tension. Cooper instructed Mucklow to join the cockpit crew, leaving him alone in the cabin. Shortly after, the aft staircase was lowered, a feature Cooper had clearly studied and planned to exploit. At 8:13 p.m., the crew noticed the tail section of the aircraft suddenly pitch upward, marking the moment Cooper made his daring leap into the stormy night. The search that followed was one of the most extensive in FBI history, yet it yielded little. Helicopters, ground teams, and fixed-wing aircraft scoured the rugged terrain, but Cooper had vanished without a trace. Only his black clip-on tie, a mother-of-pearl tie clip, and 8 cigarette butts were left behind, cryptic remnants of a crime that would baffle investigators for decades. The legend of D.B. Cooper had grown over the years, a puzzle that refused to be solved. Theories flourished, from the belief that he perished in the jump to the idea that he had started a new life under an assumed identity. Among those still captivated by the case was Alex, a seasoned investigator with a reputation for solving the unsolvable. Unlike others before, Alex wasn't just chasing the thrill of the mystery. This was personal. The case had haunted them for years, a nagging riddle that had become an obsession. Alex's investigation began with the key witnesses who had encountered Cooper firsthand. Florence Schaffner, who still vividly remembered the calm yet menacing man who had handed her that fateful note, described Cooper's unnerving confidence. Tina Mucklow, who spent the final moments with Cooper before he vanished, recounted his precise demands and his eerie composure. These recollections painted a picture of a man who was not only fearless but extraordinarily prepared. As Alex delved deeper, they faced a labyrinth of false leads and dead ends. The discovery of decaying $20 bills along the banks of the Columbia River in 1980 had initially reignited the case, but it only deepened the mystery. How had the money ended up there? Had Cooper perished, or had he discarded the money to mislead authorities? The list of suspects was long and varied. Richard McCoy, a former Green Beret who hijacked a plane in a strikingly similar manner just months after Cooper, stood out. His military background and knowledge of aviation made him a compelling candidate, yet the evidence was circumstantial. Another suspect, Dwayne Weber, a career criminal, reportedly confessed on his deathbed to being D.B. Cooper. However, DNA testing on the tie left behind by Cooper did not match Weber's, casting doubt on his claim. Throughout the investigation, Alex was confronted with the harsh realities of the case. The misinterpretations, the conflicting witness statements, and the sheer vastness of the Pacific Northwest, which seemed determined to keep its secrets. Yet, Alex remained undeterred, driven by an almost obsessive need to find closure, not just for the victims but for themselves. New forensic techniques and advances in DNA analysis offered glimmers of hope. A partial DNA profile obtained from Cooper's tie was a tantalizing lead, but it had yet to produce a match. Modern technology also allowed for the ransom money to be re-examined, potentially revealing its origins or path after the heist. As Alex navigated these new avenues of investigation, they also grappled with the human element at the heart of the case. The witnesses, suspects, and even the investigators from decades past had their own stories of fear, obsession, and the toll this case had taken on their lives. Alex's interactions with these individuals added depth to the narrative, revealing the personal costs of a mystery that had spanned generations. Despite the setbacks, the investigation pressed on, with each new lead bringing Alex closer to the truth, or so they hoped. The pressure mounted as the case gained renewed public interest, and the weight of expectation bore down heavily on Alex's shoulders. This wasn't just a quest for answers. It was a battle against time and the encroaching shadows of doubt. As the story reached its climax, the dense forests and winding rivers of the Pacific Northwest seemed to close in around Alex, mirroring the narrowing scope of the investigation. The truth felt tantalizingly close, yet always just out of reach. The legend of D.B. Cooper lived on, an enduring enigma that beckoned to be solved. And Alex, determined to the end, knew that some mysteries are never truly solved. They are simply unraveled, layer by layer, until only the barest threads remain. In the end, the Pacific Northwest, with its impenetrable wilderness and hidden depths, kept its secrets well. But Alex's journey, marked by perseverance, resilience, and an unwavering drive to uncover the truth, added a new chapter to the legend. A chapter that, while it may not provide all the answers, brings us closer to understanding the man behind the myth.